Hello.
How are you today? It's hump day.
Good. How are you?
Just barely hanging on. Ay, ay, ay. Just being nosy and trying to answer those questions in my head regarding these ladies on Married to Medicine. My goodness. Um, welcome, everybody, to the commentary zone. Today we are talking about Married to Medicine, Season 8, Episode 13, Chanel Charade. And then we have The Real Housewives of New York. Oh, darn. What season is this? 11, Episode 5? Is that what we're on?
For who? For who?
Wait, sorry. I'm on the wrong show. Wrong show. Below Deck, Season 2, Episode 14. No shirt, no shoes, big problems. Okay, there we go. Let me put this to the side so I don't look at it. I'm just very excited about our next show with Real Housewives of New York. I won't even ask you yet. I'm going to save everything for our next show. All right, so any overall thoughts on Married to Medicine?
I mean, like this season's very interesting and how it's odd because you could see the real shift in friendships when we really haven't seen that actually play out on the show. Normally it's behind the scenes, but this season you could see all the cracks and all the like issues and the dramas. I'm like, I'm not mad at it. I mean, yeah, I'm not mad. It's just ladies are having their own issues with each other, and it's like what you can see. Some of them are putting it out there. Like we can tell that Toya and Heavily don't get along. Toya and Quad, well, Toya and everybody.
I was about to
Jackie,
ask. Yeah.
Jackie and Simone, they still not on track, and I don't think they're being completely open and honest. You know, it's like I think each one feels they're right in the way they feel, but won't really acknowledge the other person's feelings until they're acknowledged as right. That's the way it comes across to me.
Okay. You know, I get like what you're saying with regards to the cracks and us now seeing it, but I think it's kind of a feather in their cap that they've gotten to 8 seasons without us seeing the cracks.
Yeah.
How many other shows can you say that about?
But but these are actual friendships. So these women have like history, like 10 years plus. These aren't women who are just, oh, we're just gonna put you in, and we're just gonna have someone to introduce you as a friend of. They have actual history. So
that's why I left it that long.
Oh yeah, I mean, and they're entertaining. Like I mean, these are you don't question the friendships. I think that's for me. That's what I don't question their friendship. Like Jackie and Simone, 20 years. Heavenly and Tonya have known each other for years. Like Dr. Damon helped Eugene get his first job. I mean, that's history. Then you have who else is on this show? Contessa. She's been friends. Who is she? Oh, who was her? Who was her
is
friend
she
again?
friends with? Who brought her on?
Oh, who did she say brought her on? For some reason, I want to say it was Simone. Actually, I think it was actually Simone when everyone thought it was Toya. So so they all have that history, and
Why
it's
would
not
they
like
think it's Toya? Toya doesn't get along with her. I mean,
well
this
they used to
season
get
is a
along.
fluke.
Well, they remember they weren't getting on at the beginning of this season, and all of a
Right.
sudden Contessa went out to check on Toya after the whole issue with Heavenly and Quad, and all of a sudden they back to being friends. Like, what is that? No. So these are actual genuine friendships. Like we don't side eye any of them. That's what makes this show stand out, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, I have to say, I watched Heavenly's live,
I always do.
and she kind of ruined the thing for me with between Simone and Jackie, and kind of put doubt in my mind that their friendship is actually back on track.
I mean, you can see it's not back on track though. We can see that on the show. So that's nothing. There's nothing. Her saying that doesn't really change my opinions or thoughts because you can see they're not the same besties who was just swing by the office and go to lunch. Even the way they talk to each other is very icy. It's very
Yeah,
coworker-ish.
but I thought they were making progress, like even down to this week's lunch, and they did that same hand clap thing
It's
from
progress.
The Color Purple. Like
Yeah.
she made it seem like they not even speaking at all. Like it's all fake for the show. And I was like, wait, what?
No, what she said was is that it's not all the way back the way they want you to think it is. You know what I mean? That's
But
what
why
she
they
said.
being so fake? Then okay, even after such a prolonged friendship and you have such a big blow up to cause you not to talk to your very, very good friend for a year, right? It was around a
Hmm.
year they didn't talk. I wouldn't expect that to get back on track like that. I never saw them truly sit down and resolve any of the issues to complete resolution.
Well, that would involve one of them taking that step forward first, and each one feels that they're right, and each one feels they want that acknowledgement. Like, I need you to tell me I'm right. You know what I mean? So they're both like
Okay.
stubborn, but they understand like they are like probably two of the top OBGYN in Atlanta, so they can't really be on the show acting too much of a fool. But they're gonna give you some insight to like where they are.
Okay. What else stuck out for you in this episode?
Hmm. I'm
Mm.
trying to think. Trying to think.
What about Contessa seeing her life coach?
I mean, I like me some Contessa, and I get where she's going. I know what she's. I get it, but I think at some point, how can I put this? She needs to quit putting things out there. I mean, I like these kind of sessions where she's talking to her coach. Talk to your coach. Don't be putting all your business out there and putting all these innuendos out there. I'm like, are you serious? Don't do that. I'm not a fan of that.
What did you think of the questions that the life coach had? Like when she boiled it down to, do you think you
Oof,
married your dad?
oof. That one struck home. I was like, oof,
Yeah.
dang. That was a good question.
She was a good
Oh,
life coach. They need to bring her on more often.
oh, and when she asked a contestant, like, do you trust him with your heart? I was like, and she
And
said no.
Contessa didn't
Ooh,
answer.
that was a no.
Yeah, the lady said, well, I have to take that as a no.
Oof,
And she didn't disagree, like nothing. She just
nothing.
stood silent. Oof.
That
That's
was
the definition of silence is deafening.
she needs to be Yanla and say Bravo some money, but and fix these people's lives because she was asking all the right questions.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Um, what else? What did you think about the conversation that Anila had with her little girl regarding the comments that she made to Miss Gomez, about wanting blonde hair and blue eyes, so that she could fit in.
I mean, it was good. I mean, it was a good conversation, and it's good that she actually was honest with her daughter and told her like what it is and reassured her and let her know like, hey, you're not the only one who feels this way. There are a lot of
Mm-hmm.
other people who feel this way, and I felt the same way, but I know I'm beautiful and so are you. So you need to embrace that.
Mm-hmm.
And she spoke to her not so much as an adult, but she didn't treat her like a child. You know what I
Right.
mean? She spoke to
Yeah.
her like in terms to where you're not speaking at her as the adult, but you're telling her like, hey, like this is what it is. It was a frank conversation, but it wasn't heavy.
Mm-hmm. No, and I like that she gave her an example. Like all little girls her age look up to, like, princesses, people wearing crowns. And Kieran's cousin is a Miss America.
Miss
I might
America,
have that wrong. Yeah, and she goes, look at Daddy's cousin. She's Miss America. Like, and I love how she said, I love your beautiful brown skin and your beautiful brown eyes. Like, I love that. Like, I agree with you. She didn't talk to her like on a totally adult level, but it wasn't on a childlike level either. It, like she knows her kid and she knows the capacity that she could take in. And
Mm-hmm.
I was there for it. I did appreciate it, and I appreciated her reinforcing to her child, I love you for you, and you should too.
Exactly.
Let me have a question. I have a question for you. Does Anila wear contacts?
I haven't paid attention. I'll
On
be
her
honest.
IG page,
Mm-hmm.
she has very light eyes.
But I wonder if that's just for shoots.
I wonder too. That's why I'm asking if she wears contacts.
Now you're gonna make me look at her eyes next on the episode just so I can see.
If she does, I hope she tells her daughter that's just for fashion. That's what mommy does on IG because I'm an influencer. It's not because I don't like my eyes. It's just part of my job or something, or it goes with the outfit or whatever excuse she makes up. But, if you're gonna say you love this about your little girl, I hope you love it about yourself too.
Right.
What else? Okay. So Simone, with regards to the Simone Lisa Nicole issue with the event that they were supposed to
Mm-hmm.
be I don't even know if they were supposed to be planning it together, because based on what Simone said, like she kind of mentioned it in passing when they were in DC, and Lisa Nicole took off and ran with it and
Mm-hmm.
like sent out an email afterwards. Um, what did you pick up from that? Was it that they were working together,
Yeah.
or
The way it came across, Simone mentioned that they were gonna like decide to work on it together. But Lisa Nicole just went ahead and just pretty much did everything. And since Lisa had already started everything, Simone felt like, well, we're supposed to be doing this together, but you're making all these decisions and you're leaving my
okay,
name off of it. So basically, what Simone's trying to say, you stole my idea and took it as your own.
okay. So then I picked up that because at one point I was playing a game on my phone, but I digress. So then she did have a valid reason for feeling a little hurt. I
Yeah,
mean,
it was your idea,
yeah.
and then you guys both working on it together, but then you do everything, and then with Jackie is just like you're doing an event with Lisa Nicole, and then
Oh,
everything
flashing
went
back to Heavenly.
down. Yeah, and then everything went down. Jackie said, and we all thought Heavenly was crazy.
Now, I don't think I was watching it then. What happened between Heavenly and Lisa Nicole that everybody was referencing? I was
They
kind
were
of a little lost.
It was like a women's empowerment um event, and
Hmm.
um they were supposed to be footing the bill 50-50, but at least Nicole was doing some shady stuff behind the scenes apparently. It was just weird, and Heavily didn't like it. Yeah,
Oh.
it was a whole big. That's why they don't really do each other like that.
Oh. Okay.
I like
Interesting.
Trey says Simone expresses her anger in such an immature way. She acts worse than a pouting toddler on the verge of a temper tantrum. Yeah, she she just yeah she lacks that maturity.
Does she let her anger get in front of how to communicate her feelings?
Simone, yes.
Hmm.
When will these
Let's
ladies
see.
learn that there is no true collaboration on the Lisa Nicole projection? Exactly.
Interesting. Well, if we say Simone throws tantrums, what did Heavenly throw at Lisa Nicole's was that the dinner party or was that the town hall? I was a little confused.
Oh, that was like the town hall collaboration meeting or something.
Oh.
That's what that was. It was for them to all come together and give ideas. I mean, but see, here's the thing with Simone. Simone does it in a way to where she always does this. Like it's always a tantrum. Heavily just gets mad and she's consistent.
Okay. When they cut to the confessionals, like when Heavenly was storming out, right? And they cut to the confessionals, and everybody had a play on Heavenly storming out of, of her argument. I thought that was hysterical. They didn't need to do any flashbacks because everybody like mimicked her so perfectly. I think Jackie had the best, where she came back with her head on the side and said, I'm gone, or something. I thought that was so very cute. I know it
It,
had nothing to do with the story, but it entertained me.
I mean, it's just with heavily Lisa Nicole's always gonna be some tension, um, here and there. And then my thing with Lisa Nicole, I'm like, well, you guys are talking about Heavenly's weight at Anila's daughter's party. So how are you
Yeah,
mad
they
in this
started
situation?
it.
Yeah,
They
you started.
Yeah. Because I was a little confused by this because I didn't even see in the first showing of the scene, it wasn't until they played the replay that you saw Lisa Nicole had a tape measure around her. I was like, wait, I thought this was done. I thought this was done at the birthday party where they started teasing Heavenly on the horse, and then she got off. Lisa Nicole got on, and they teased Lisa Nicole. I thought it was done.
Right. So it
I
made no.
didn't, yeah, I didn't realize that there was a text message back to Lisa with a video.
Right. But true. But you still started
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You still started it. So why you mad?
But again, I think this was a lapse in judgment on, and it was Lisa and Carrie. I'm not gonna leave Carrie out in this because I heard the two of their voices when Heavenly was on
Right.
that horse. And why would you pick on Heavenly? The person on this cast with the most dangerous mouth, second to Quad.
Right. And
I
you can't
like I'm
hang.
not a wordsmith. I would not do that. I would
Well,
not
see.
pick on Quad. I would not pick on Heavenly. I would not pick on you. I wouldn't pick on anybody. I'm not a wordsmith. I'm not.
Somebody else told me that it was interesting because like another group I'm a part of, like, we call Married to Mess, and they're like, yeah, they're like, if you were on that show, you have no filter, you just go in on everybody. And I'm like, yeah, it's true. Like if you approach me, I'm going to respond, and that's what Heavenly did. She responded, and I don't like when Lisa Nicole does this mess because I kind of like Lisa Nicole in certain aspects, but you cannot like pick on people about weight and then get mad when they respond, and you get what you get in those situations. It is what it is. Now, Jackie is more polite. She'll just shade you and be like, "Okay, I see you, Jackie. You know you was wrong for that." But you can't, like, when Tonya does says stuff and then she gets mad when people respond like, "Well, Tonya, you say some like reckless stuff about people. You mad when they respond?" Is that kind of, it comes out as a victim mentality to me. Like, you're picking on me. No, when people respond to the stuff you say, it's not picking on you. It's responding. You invited that response.
I think Toya also has a different tone this season on how she speaks to people. It's a little condescending. Like she's
It's
doing puppy training. And
right,
I'm referencing between her and Anila.
right.
It, it, I wouldn't like somebody talking to me like that. Shut up.
No.
Sit down. Come on. Like anyway, that's their friendship. I don't know.
Like, what did you think? Now we're on that. Like, what did you think about Jackie just letting Toya know about herself? I was It didn't catch me off guard. It was more like, you Jackie's not having it. And
Well,
I kind of enjoy, here's the thing. It caught me off
mhm,
guard, but I enjoyed this because
mhm.
I think this is a part of the real, like, this is this is not Dr. Jacqueline Walters right now. This is Jackie from, what? She's from Tennessee,
I don't know.
Mississippi.
I don't
You
know.
know, that's like, You know what I'm saying? Like, I like this is Jackie. This is not Dr. Jacqueline Walters for TV.
Mm-hmm.
This is her because she let Toya know like catch your tone.
Well, here's the thing. This isn't the first time that Toya has come at Jackie. Like when they were at Quad's house, she kind of accused
Mhm.
her of sitting there and being quiet
Mhm.
and not checking her friend. I think that's what she has said when they were on the deck.
Mhm.
Um, and then she's questioning her again, but this time it's in front of the other ladies. Because when they were on the deck, they were by themselves, I believe.
It was yeah. They were in Quad's place. I think it was just them, those two on the
Mm-hmm.
couch. Yes.
Right. I think Jackie is not going to air out her laundry in front of everybody. So that's why, she gave her the politically correct response on on that patio or wherever at Quad's house.
Mhm. Uh-oh. I think Debbie froze on this. But yeah, I felt that I agree with Debbie on the
Okay, are you
couch.
back?
That was you.
Yeah. No, I saw
You're
that it was
good.
me.
You're good.
So I think the Jackie way of handling things is a one-on-one thing and not leaving it open for group participation. So
Mhm.
calling her off to the side wherever they went and having a conversation. She was trying to treat Toya as an adult, and then Toya caught the attitude and she had to check her. So if you want to behave like a child, I'm gonna treat you like a child and I'm going to let you know exactly what it is. And she stated her position. I found no problem with how she handled it.
Right.
And if Toya has a problem with how it was handled, then Toya need not have a communication with Jackie moving on.
I think what it is, and it's a classic case, and I don't understand why people do this. People feel because you're friends with somebody and they're doing wrong, it's your responsibility to check them. It's not. It's your responsibility because it's your relationship. Because when they were talking, Toya has an issue with how Heavenly treats her.
But then
Okay,
why ask Jackie to check her? Why don't you check
right.
Heavenly?
Exactly. If you have all that mouth, you can't speak up for yourself. You have a lot of mouth when people aren't around. So have the same energy when she's there in your face. There's no way I would. There was no way I would have someone else check out. Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
How many times has Toya tried to check Heavenly this season? The basketball court was one. Um, at
Oh, the crystal
Quad's
party.
house,
The crystal party. I think.
the crystal
Didn't.
party. What about at Quad's house? Did she have anything to say to her then,
Yeah,
or that was
because
just
that was a fight. Heavily stirred the pot on that one,
okay?
and
So
so yeah.
this is why she's going to Jackie because I don't think she's successful in any of the conversations that she's had with Heavenly this season. So the little snide little comment, she called her like a pit, right? She's
Hmm.
referencing a pit bull.
Yep.
Um, yeah, that little snide comment. Then trying to get somebody else to handle your business when you're not woman enough to handle it. Again, if you're not a wordsmith and you can't handle confrontation with people who are wordsmiths, keep your mouth shut. Stay out of trouble. I know you're on a reality show and trouble pays your check, but pick your battles wisely.
Right, and you're being. And my thing is, you can't complain about what people will do to you when you don't acknowledge what you do to other people and things you say. Like you say a lot on Instagram. You say a lot behind people's backs, but when you're confronted, you can't handle it. I'm like, what kind of mess is that? You
Oh, I
know?
didn't know that. I
Yeah.
don't participate in the Instagram of it all. Well,
Yeah.
no, I lie. I recently started following Anila because I wanted to go back and see what she put out for Lisa Nicole
Hmm.
from her
Hmm.
line, and I couldn't find it. Maybe it's up
Um,
now. I don't
it
know.
could be, but yeah, toys have a lot to say about everybody, but again, going back to the main topic, you can't say things about people and then get mad when they respond to you. You started it. And me personally, I really feel that she's kind of in this position Carrie's in. Um, she from Dallas. I'm sorry, Carrie from Dallas. So where she has a lot of pressure on her, and it's just she's just cracking at this point because I'm sure at this time this is around the time they had to figure out they had to sell their house.
But how come Eugene doesn't look like he's cracking? He looks happy, except when
Well,
he's telling her that she's being mean.
because Eugene's the one working. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
He's working, so he has a set goal in mind what he has to do. But Eugene's also not out here high siding either. He's not the one saying, "Oh, we have this, we have that, we've done this, we've done that." Like if you hear Eugene talk, he never talks about the house.
okay.
He's never throwing their home in the other men's faces because he understands where they stand in the financial pecking order of the show. It's Toya who is talking about we have this, we have that, we're this, we're that. Eugene knows they all know how much each other makes and how much their wives make.
Oh, so you're
Eugene,
saying Toya's on the lower end of the pay scale of this cast?
well, when you look at the cast as a whole and you take into account collective quote unquote wealth,
Mm-hmm.
look at it. Toya's at the bottom. Don't bring in Married to Medicine. If you took away Married to Medicine, I'm sorry, I don't think Toya will be in the ballpark. If we're being completely honest,
Oh, so who do you think is at the top?
it would for me would have to probably be Jackie, then Heavenly, then Simone, then probably Contessa, then Anila, and then Toya. Because you have to realize with the show, you combine the husbands and the wives is very important. So Jackie's out there doing big things. She got books. She got buying buildings. She got a surgical center. She got all this going. Heavenly got the acreage. She got the house flipping. She got Dr. Heavenly
And two
Smile.
doctors' salaries. And
Yeah,
don't forget, Heavenly is cash only.
yeah, cash only. Jackie paid. Apparently, according to Heavenly, Jackie paid for her renovations in cash.
Oh.
So you know what I mean? Then you go down to Simone. Simone is very established as well. So I know Simone bringing in a nice coin on her practice. I mean, she's
Mhm.
held in high regard in the community, from what I understand.
Mhm.
Contessa, like if Contessa's out here opening her own practice with her and Sky, that's two doctor salaries.
Doctor
So
salaries,
so
right.
they cool. Then you go down to Anila. Anila had like a very good job in New York before she left to move with Kieran to Atlanta. To
And
settle, have a family, all that stuff. And if you're building a straight up $3 million home, you got the coinage, and she
but
has her blogging,
Kieran is considered a specialist, right? Because he's a
plastic
plastic
surgery.
surgeon.
Yes,
Oh, so that's big money
yeah.
there.
That's how.
Okay.
That's how. Like if you and think about it, if you lost about 40% of your work,
Mhm.
you're still due to COVID, and then you're still managing to build a $3 million house. You're doing well. You're doing well. So that's Anila. Plus Anila does her blogging and stuff. So she's bringing in a check. Now you
Okay.
bring down the Toya. So when you
Where?
look at the couples, each one is pretty much a two-income home, a two-income family. But then you have Eugene and Toya. Eugene's the only one with a job outside of Married to Medicine within their household.
Well, Simone used to be a two-income family
But isn't
until
but isn't
Cecil
he?
became a real estate agent.
Well, he's still employed. Okay.
With who? You mean that bar downstairs?
I
Is he getting a
mean,
spinoff with that bar?
I
I
don't know.
don't know.
I'm just saying.
Interesting.
I'm just saying. When you look at it, take
I
you.
see. This
Yeah,
now
you
makes sense to me.
know what I'm saying?
And
Because
poor
yeah,
Eugene.
Eugene does not brag on his home at all because he understands like Financially, we on the ropes with this house. So he's not gonna go out there and high side. He just wants to go out with his friends and have fun. Toya is the one who's like, I have Chanel. Like you remember seasons ago, Heavenly and Quaddy's always mentioned like, well, whatever store we go into, Toya will always buy the most expensive thing. Like that they mentioned that one time where she went and bought in a $100 T-shirt, and they were like, "Excuse you,
Was it for a
seriously?
charity or something?
No,
What?
yeah, $100 T-shirt."
Wow. Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
so I think that's just where we are with
Hmm.
the situation. You know, ever since Toya's been on the show, I really felt like she always felt like people would pick on her, like they felt like she was less than, and she was trying to hang with the Joneses. It's like, well, no, people don't think you're dumb, and I don't really think that she's dumb. I don't think they think she's dumb. Is they feel like she's lazy and not helping her husband the way she should, especially when they're in the tax when they were in a tax situation. Like, well, what are you doing to help your husband? Nothing. And
Yeah.
then with the house, like you want to build a $3 million house, and I've come around to your way of thinking regarding the house. Okay,
Jesus.
if I'm paying 3 million, 3.5 for a house, I don't want no neighbors. I don't. I
Yeah.
I'm with you now.
Yeah.
That's why I
After
love
seeing
Heavenly
Heavenly's place, Heavenly has 3 plots of land. She made sure it's 47 acres that
acres.
she has. You don't see nobody. It's like, hello, 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 hello. That's what I mean about like an estate. And she didn't even pay that. Granted, she's had it for 20 years, but she said she has a video on YouTube where she does a house tour where she walks from the main road up that long driveway and you hear her
Mhm.
huffing and puffing and hyperventilating by the time she gets to the front door. But yeah, she said Damon wanted a spot by a river. There's a river behind their house, and he wanted privacy. And they bought 2 lots to begin with, and as the last one became available after they started building or after they moved in or something like that, they bought that too. So it's their 3 lots plus the river. So they have no one around them.
And I think she said she
Right.
got it for 1.4.
I think so.
I think it was
Mm-hmm.
1.4.
Yeah.
So when she says about Toya, even though it can come off as mean, she's not wrong. Like when you're somebody who's speaking on Heavenly's house being old, like it's 20 years old, but I'm looking at like Heavenly got 47 acres plus a big house, and she paid like a third of what you paid.
Yep. A basketball court, a tennis
Tennis
court, a
court.
pool, a pool, cabana, lounge, lagoon area in back. She got like her house is a bit convoluted to walk around, or it could just be Heavenly walking in circles because
Mm-hmm.
there's like a door here, go
Mm-hmm.
in here, out here. Like there's a lot going on in her house. It needs a better floor plan. But she's had it for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's a product of 20 years ago,
Yeah.
but she's kept it up very well. The exteriors are beautiful. It's a large, she's incorporated 3 lots into one with a natural river in the back. Like, come on now. Can't beat it. It was a wise investment. And when she did that explanation of the capital gains tax
Yes.
with regards to Toya's house, and they
Oof.
haven't kept it for long enough, and just say it like, why are you selling it? Like you got into something, you invested into something, just thinking about I'm gonna have all of this and that and the nice, pretty, shiny, bright things, but you ain't think about anything further than paying the mortgage. You ain't think about paying the insurance. You ain't think about paying the taxes. You ain't think about upkeep. Upkeep is what kills you in real estate. And she
Mm-hmm.
said because they haven't had it for 3 years, they're going to make a substantial loss with regards to capital gains. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, wow. I'm scared now.
Like when Heavenly talks business, I'm all ears because it's fun to
Mhm.
hear her talk because she knows what she's talking about. And I'm like, and Heavenly made such a good point. When she said, "I know what Eugene makes, and he makes good money."
Mhm.
She's all, me and Damon got two incomes, and um, they do quite well. Obviously, she said like, "Oh, we ain't buying no $3 million house."
No.
She said, "Not many people are going to buy into a $3 million house." No, so if they not going to buy into a $3 million house, I'm looking at Eugene and Toya like, okay, good luck.
And she also said something else that was pretty interesting. She said to take advantage of the tax situation. I guess I'm not sure if this is just isolated to Georgia or for everybody. If you have $3 million to spend, buy two 1.4 or 1.5
Right.
homes
Mm-hmm.
and rent them out, or you live in one and rent out the other so that it helps pays for yours. And then you take advantage of the tax situation if you have
Right.
that money to spend, but don't put it all in one house
Right.
because then you're taxed more heavily. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. But then again, I
You,
don't have pockets like that to know that,
right. Exactly. Me neither. Because
you
it's
know.
1.1. Because you can write up to 1.1. That's why you say you
Mhm.
split it up to like two or three. I'm like, that makes sense. Like you get
Mhm.
one main home and then two investment properties, rental properties, and those rental properties pay for your house, which makes
Yeah, they
total sense.
pay for themselves plus
Hmm.
kitty in the bank, you know. I Oh, I'm now wondering about Toya. I'm very worried for her.
I think this is
And
part of it,
Eugene.
though. I think this
Mhm.
is part of it, and I wonder if during filming, because Married to Medicine kind of films pretty quickly. I wonder if while they were filming, her and Eugene were arguing about selling the house. Because according to Heavenly, if I recall correctly from her live, with Anila, the house just recently sold. So I wonder were they arguing about selling the house during filming, and we're just not seeing that part.
Her house sold?
From what I understand, yeah.
Wow.
Let's see.
They gotta move again?
Hmm.
Oh, wow. I
Okay, let's
thought this was
see.
their forever home,
It
though.
says Bush shares
Hmm.
alongside her husband that Eugene supposedly put their house on the market last year for about 3.5, but you built the house for 3.5. You're taking a loss on this house just by that alone.
I thought,
The Married
isn't
to
it
Medicine.
cheaper? Didn't they lower the price?
Yeah, this is from April. This is from April 14th. This is why I said they put it on the market. This is what you put it on the market
Mm.
for. It's not gonna sell at that price. So yeah,
Oh,
I'm
wow.
trying. I'm just sorry, everyone. My apologies. I'm just trying to see if I can find anything that says it's sold.
That's messed up. But you know what? At least they had it for a little while. Hopefully, hopefully there is someone who wants. Maybe Simon can buy it from Atlanta.
Maybe
You know, I mean, it's
because
not 5 million.
okay. So now in a later article it says the house was lowered to 3.295 million.
So now they are taking a loss.
Oh, you're saying when they listed at three when you list your house at or around what you paid for, you're gonna take a loss anyway because it's not gonna sell that. It's not gonna sell at
Yeah.
that price.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah,
Well,
I don't see. Sorry, everybody. I don't see anything where it says sold yet, but they were saying like it. The rumor is that it was sold.
no.
But I would say
Oh.
this. I would have loved for this to play out the way I think it is playing out because it would explain Toya's behavior. Because Toya's behavior is just coming, the meanness is coming out of nowhere. There's no explanation behind it. Like they've given, and I don't like the editing either. So they're not giving us any context to what's really going on in her life. because it's not just these group of ladies. It can't be.
Right. No, I don't understand where it's coming from either. And I thought it was just because I hadn't been watching. Um, it's not adding up for me why she's behaving like that. She's bringing in
Mhm.
people as friends or allies to her cause, and yet she's treating them like snot rags, which doesn't make sense to me, but okay. Um Wait, I know I'm missing something. Oh, what did you think about the scene between Heavenly and her son at the rental lake house? And she's asking him what kind of woman he wants.
That was too funny. She's like, you want someone just like your mama. He's like, mm. That was too funny. He's like, okay.
All of
Oh,
Heavenly's children are so shady, just like her. Oh my God. Anything else on this episode that we need to touch on?
mm, no, I think we had all the big stuff, the good stuff. So,
I like the
um,
episode. It wasn't
I
bad.
did, but I wish, like I said earlier, I wish we could see where Toya's stress and anger is coming from, because it's easy to jump on her, because we can't see what's going on. Like, we're not privy to what's going on. That's her choice. But
Mm,
I think for her being portrayed in this manner is not entirely fair because we have no context.
mm-hmm. Oh, I had one more thing to ask. Oh, I can't remember. Anywho, whatever. I can't remember. It must not have been of relevance. All right, so on to Below Deck Sailing Yacht, Season 2, Episode 14. No shirt, no shoes, no big problems. Um,
Didn't care. Next.
this episode, I think the women, the guests, the boat guests, the women had me so turned off.
Hmm.
I didn't care about the episode.
I
And
think
now
what
Glenn is becoming a micromanager. I'm not really liking him. I
here's
don't
the
know.
thing. I know how it comes across, but he is still dealing with the trauma of his wreckage.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of it. And then so he's hypersensitive to everything. And then the guest came to him complained, I believe, that or Daisy wouldn't complain, like, they overheard people talking about them.
They went to Daisy first.
Right.
Daisy did not address it with Allie. And then Erica mentioned it to Captain Glenn, and he
Hmm.
went to Daisy and was like, "Did you take care of this?" So
Right.
that's what it was.
So
And
yeah.
he's seeing the inconsistency of the staff where they're letting things slip.
Hmm.
But Natasha been letting things slip the whole season. Um,
But
let's
she
just call
saved them
it
though.
anything.
Let's be honest. Her food has saved them this whole season. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Like, she's gotten like no complaints except for when
Uh,
she well, it says except for when she made dishes the way she knows how to make them
mhm.
versus you know the way the guest exactly the way the guest asked for it. And then when she did do it, they loved it.
Or when she's promising things and then not
That's
following
bad.
through on them.
Yeah, that's bad.
This is a luxury clientele. You can't do things like that. And I don't know why she would do things like that. And she's
Right.
making me mad because she's making me side with Daisy, and I don't want to side with Daisy.
I mean, Daisy's not wrong, but Daisy's also annoying. I'm sorry.
Daisy
I'm
complains to
I'm gonna
everybody except to Natasha.
I'm gonna put this out there, and I don't really care how people feel about it. You can
Mhm.
disagree. For me, Daisy is like the most lackluster chief stew they've had on any of the iterations.
Oh.
I just don't like her because it's always whining, it's always complaining. Like, why is Colin, the chief engineer, the one helping Natasha? Why isn't the chief stew who's in charge of the interior, who's in charge of clientele experience and making sure they have the best 5-star experience they can have? Why aren't you helping Natasha? So you don't like the girl. Who cares? Your job is to ensure the guests are having the
Yeah.
best experience. And the big part of a yacht is the food. So if I
Mm-hmm.
were you, if you're so high and mighty, you should be in there with Natasha, like, hey, like, how can I help you? Like, you know what? I understand that you don't like prepping while healing. I'll help you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she takes no initiative and complains about everything.
Yeah.
If you're gonna
I
be big
also
and
think
bad,
she plays favorites though.
of course she does.
Yeah. I don't like that she goes and she talks about that girl behind her back to everybody. Like, do you not think that that's not going to get back to Natasha? It's a small boat. Like, come on, girl. And again, she's supposed to be Chief Stew. Behave like one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what did it only perked up for me after these 8 cows got off the boat. And yes, I do mean cows. They were annoying as hell. Um, they still got a how much did they get? $18,250 tip,
Eighteen
which broke
thousand, 18,450, which broke down to like what?
450,
Yeah, which broke down to 2,050 each.
2,050 each. Okay, cool. Well, that's still a decent tip
Yeah.
for them. And I think Jessica was the main issue because Jessica was sober and listening to everybody, both the guests as well as the crew.
Mhm.
You know, okay, towards the end, after the guests get off, they have a night out on the town, and Colin decides, well, since I can't get Allie, I'm just going to see if I can flirt with Sydney and see if this girl will break off a piece for me.
Oh, do you mean Gary?
Oh, sorry, yeah, Gary. Ugh. Gary and Sydney at dinner, and he's purposely flirting with Sydney in front of Allie.
He's just dumb.
And Colin gives him some really good advice. He's like, if you really like Allie, wait till the season is over. They have one more cruise to go.
Mhm.
Wait till the season is over and pick up with Allie. And like, there's no talking to Gary. Like, the wrong head leads him.
But the thing is like, if you really cared for Allie, you would have just told her the truth in the first place.
That's true.
I mean, small boat. You're all coworkers. You might as well tell it.
And if Colin could keep it in his pants for the entire season, why can't Gary? Like, I wouldn't want to dip my company pen, my pen into company ink.
It's because Colin's got a whole like girlfriend, fiance, or whatever back home. Plus, I think he has a business as well. So
Yeah.
he's not trying to be up here acting a fool and looking crazy.
Yeah, I think he has his own catamaran out of Panama.
Panama.
Yeah. It's just it. But even so, okay, Gary has no girlfriend or anything like that. But do you have to be a man? These are people that you're working with. Sydney is directly under you.
That's
Really?
just, that's just nasty. So like, it is what it is on that.
Hmm. Um, this isn't gonna end well. Whatever. No one's listening to the voice of reason on this boat, which is Colin. Um, did you get a chance to see the captain's chat that I
No,
told
I
you
need to watch
about?
that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty good. I think it was done by Bravo on YouTube. The 3 captains, Sandy, Glenn, and Lee, got together and somebody was asking them questions. And it was a great insight on one, what happened with the boat malfunction this season.
Hmm.
And then, other things with regards to the 3 different captains, their boats, their areas that they sail and all that. It was a good little watch. Let's see. I think that's about it for this episode. Do you have anything else?
Nope, we're good.
Sweet. Hold on, let me just check one thing here. Um, All right. So, okay, guys, that was it for Married to Medicine and Below Deck Sailing Yacht this week. One solid episode for Married to Medicine and one I wish the season was over episode for Sailing Yacht. Your thoughts, Jamal?
Can't wait for the season to be over.
Okay. Well, guys, leave your comments below if you watch any of these shows. Hit that thumbs up button just because we asked you to. If you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you're made aware every time we send out new content. All right, Jamal.
Mm-hmm.
Until next time.
Of course.
Bye.
Bye.